Hello neighbors, it's Brad here at eTrailer, and today we're taking a look and installing the eTrailer Class 3 trailer hitch receiver on a 2022 Acura MDX. Now this is what our hitch is going to look like when it's installed, and the glory of this hitch is the fact that it is a hidden cross tube, meaning the only thing that you're going to see hanging down from the vehicle is the actual receiver opening here, so the rest of the hitch is hidden behind the bumper to give you that nice clean OEM look. And going along with that, it also has a nice matte black powder coat finish here, so it's going to stay looking nice for a long time. It's going to hold up to those elements, but also the matte black kind of gives it a little bit more of a stealthy appearance, and that way your car still has a nice OEM clean look. Now taking a closer look, we see this is a 2" by 2" receiver tube opening, which is going to be awesome for a wide selection of different accessories, whether it be your ball mounts, bike racks, cargo carriers, or whatever you may take along on your adventure. This is a pretty standard size, so that's a good sign. You also have a 5/8 hitch pin hole, and that's going to hold your accessories in place here. Now the pin and clip does not actually come with the hitch, but a lot of your accessories when you purchase those will come with the pin, and if you want to pick up a locking one, we actually have those available here at eTrailer. Now you're going to see there is a rolled style safety chain loop, and that's going to be great for your standard size hooks or even a larger clevis style when hooking up your trailer. Now, speaking of towing, if you do plan to tow with your MDX, you're going to be surprised at the fact that the numbers are really good for this. So out the gate, you have a gross trailer weight rating of 6,000 pounds, and that's going to be just the weight of the trailer plus the accessories loaded up. Now you're also going to have a tongue weight rating of 900 pounds, and that's pretty solid as well. That's going to be your suspended accessories, so your bike racks or cargo carriers. With 900 pounds, I highly doubt you're going to exceed that. Now this can be used with weight distribution, and it's just going to bump it up even more. So you actually have 8,000 pounds on gross trailer weight rating, and that 900 tongue weight rating is going to stay the same. But before actually hooking up and towing, you're going to want to make sure you check the vehicle's owner's manual to see what the vehicle is capable of. Compare that with the actual hitch rating, take the lower of the two numbers, and that way you stay safe. Now we're going to take a few quick measurements. So going from the center of the hitch pin hole to the furthest point of the rear fascia, we're looking right at about 3 inches. It's almost flush here with the actual opening of the receiver tube opening. So that's going to be great because with your accessories that actually fold up, hopefully you shouldn't make contact with the rear of the vehicle. And I think with it being flush like this, you shouldn't have a problem. Something you do still want to check before selecting an accessory. That way you know that you're not going to damage your vehicle and still be able to use that fold up feature. Now taking a look at ground clearance, measuring from the top of the receiver tube opening to the ground, we're looking right at about 14 inches. So pretty good ground clearance overall with the hitch, but something you want to keep in mind is when you do have your accessories loaded up, as you go up those inclines, those will actually get pretty close to the ground. So if you're going up a large incline or maybe some rough terrain, something you want to keep in mind while driving around with them. Now, as far as the installation goes, this is actually a pretty simple one. You can definitely do this in your driveway or garage, and all you really have to do is lower down your spare tire. It's going to give you the hardware that goes into the weld nuts, and with a 22mm socket, you'll be tightening those up and then going back with a torque wrench, and that's pretty much the installation. So speaking of that, let's head inside the shop and I'll show you how to do it step by step. For this installation, we're going to need to lower the spare tire, and to do that on this vehicle, we're going to open up our hatch first. And then this little storage compartment right back here, you're going to peel this back, open this up, and you're going to see this little cap here. It says spare tire and a little pry spot here. So once you kind of pry this open with your flathead, it's going to reveal a rubber plug here, and we're going to just peel this back. You can use that flathead if you like, and peeling this back is going to reveal our little square here. So to get this to lower down, we're going to be actually using our spare tire tools, and there's going to be a little compartment that's tucked right here. There we are. So vertical drops that open, and we're going to be grabbing our spare tire wrench here. As you'll see, this is going to correspond with this. So once we have that, we can just go ahead and we'll just turn this counterclockwise, and your tire should start dropping down. Now underneath the vehicle with the spare tire out of the way, we're going to see that there's going to be 3 weld nuts here. You can actually see the threads there, and there's going to be 3 on each side, and that's where our hitch is actually going to live, and we're going to be bolting that up. Now depending on where you live, the environment that the vehicle's been in, a lot of times road grime can kind of build up in these and cause rust, which makes it tough for that hardware to get in. So if that's the case with your vehicle, A little tube brush here. We have these available here at eTrailer, and just a little penetrating oil goes a long way to kind of clear that out. And just scrub those out to make sure that all those threads are nice and clean. It's gonna make it a lot easier for that hardware to go up. With an extra set of hands, we're gonna put this in place, aligning those holes with the weld nuts. And the hardware we have the bolts with a conical tooth washer, and you're gonna see the teeth here. You're gonna want that biting into the metal of the hitch. So make sure you have that washer in place. And once aligned, you'll be able to actually just kind of thread this in. Once you get it hand tightened, or at least just a few threads started on each side, that's gonna allow that hitch to be held up and make it a lot easier for putting the rest of our hardware in. And with those hand tightened bolts in place, I can go back. We're just gonna hand tighten the rest of our hardware and the remaining weld nuts. So now I'm gonna go back with a 22mm socket, and I'm gonna just tighten these all up. We're gonna be going back with the torque wrench later, so you really don't have to go too crazy on here. You just want it snug and that hitch pulled up. Now it is slotted on all the holes, so this is a good time, kind of check to make sure that you're centered up with the middle of the fascia. You can kind of see the point, so good time to align that perfectly. And then we can just tighten these up. So now we're going to go back with that same socket and a torque wrench, and using the torque specifications that are in the instruction manual, we're going to go back and make sure these are torqued down properly. And this is important because it's going to make sure that you don't have too much stress by over tightening these, but also that they're not going to become loose over time. So if you need a torque wrench, we actually have these available here at eTrailer, or you can generally rent them at an auto parts store. But we set our torque, so now we'll just go through and make sure that these are all torqued to spec. So once you put your spare tire back up, you can put all your internal pieces back together. And other than that, you're ready to use your hitch. And that was a look and installation of the eTrailer Class 3 trailer hitch receiver on a 2022 Acura MDX.